Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February Livable Neighborhoods meeting for February 24th, 2022. And today we have, just to let everybody know, the agenda is in the chat. I'm going to try something new today. And please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat as well. I see a lot of faces that I haven't seen in a while, which is wonderful. And we're just going to jump right in. First on the agenda is Julie Riddle, and she is with the University of Missouri Extension and is going to talk about some tax services available in the community. And so I will go ahead and hand it over to Julie.
Great, thanks, Andrea, and good morning, everyone. Can somebody give me a verbal okay if you can see the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, yep. Perfect. Thank you. So even though I work for the University of Missouri Extension, my work partner, Lindsay, and I actually co-run a coalition that spans our metro area. And it's the Kansas City Metro Tax Coalition. And we serve Jackson, Clay, Platte, and Cass County in Missouri, and Johnson and Wyandotte County in Kansas. And this year, for the first time, in partnership with Catholic Charities of Northeast Kansas, we're going to be doing some returns for Atchison as well. So we get 2 grants from the IRS. One is called the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Grant, and the other is called the Tax Counseling for the Elderly Grant. And that allows, those 2 grants, along with some local funding, allow us to serve individuals and families who are at or below annual income of $58,000, and also people who are 60 and above. And there's not really an income cap on older adults. That's part of that tax counseling for the elderly grant. And we do the bulk of our work, as a lot of organizations do, using the support and expertise and time and talent of volunteers. So we have more than 200 volunteers registered this year who have been certified by the IRS to do a number of things, including prepare basic tax returns. We also have a goal, because tax time is transactional and seasonal, of course, even though people are paying taxes and dealing with the IRS all year long. But we also have a goal of helping to make a difference in some longer term ways. And tax time is a good time for some folks to start talking about increasing their savings, reducing their debt, improving their credit. So we're working with a number of community partners through referrals, mostly at this point, to help people accomplish their own goals, whether it's to take part of a refund and put it toward their grandkids' college education, or if they want to work on paying down debt, or if they want to keep from owing on their taxes next year, so adjusting their withholding at work. And so we have conversations with taxpayers all year long about those things. So some of this I've already covered. Our largest local funder is United Way of Greater Kansas City, which covers that same 6-county metro footprint. And has very recently merged with United Way of Wyandotte County. And I know you have some folks on the call that work for United Way. And in addition to the MU, we also have a number of partners, and I'm going to talk to you more about those folks in a couple of slides. To give you a little bit of an idea about what our goals are this year. So last year, because of the pandemic, because we lost a number of sites, we were down on volunteers, we did 3,274 returns up through October 31st. with about 125 volunteers. This year, we have a very ambitious goal for the whole federal fiscal year, again through October, to do 7,400 returns. And our goal for volunteer recruitment was about 250 volunteers, and we're pretty close to that number. So you may not even be able to read this, and I'm not going to read it to you, but I'm happy to share a copy of this PowerPoint presentation with Andrea. We have a lot of really great partners on both sides of the state line. And I'm going to highlight a few. So we work with a lot of colleges and universities. So we work with Kansas City, Kansas Community College, MCC, Metropolitan Community College, Rockhurst, UMKC, and we're pretty much all over the metro area, K-State Extension in Olathe. And those university partnerships are really important, but so are our community-based partnerships. So not just nonprofits, but folks in the community who are interested in giving back and for some weird reason like to do taxes. They are part of this coalition as well. And I just want to give a shout out to Tanya Love, who's in the meeting, and also Gary Wilson of Wilson's Pizza and Grill, Wilson's famous Pizza and Grill. So they are new partners this year and really wanting to reach the folks in and around Quindaro, but also all over Wyandotte County. So our tax season is January 31st, roughly, to April 18th. It's not April 15th this year. So Monday, the 18th is the final day of tax season. We also do off-season returns, but right now we're just focused on getting through the tax season. We have about 15 sites across the metro area. And we're doing this either as event-based, so people make appointments at very specific kinds of events. And so we've been doing those with Shepherd Center in Kansas City, Missouri. We have some events scheduled with PCs for People, where we bring people together, masked, socially distanced, but do intakes and robust interviews. And then, sorry, I'm looking at the snow outside. And then our remote preparers do those returns. We're also doing some intake events with Catholic Charities in Northeast Kansas. And then we also have sites that are operating all tax season long. And some of those are what we call closed sites. So they're focusing on their own clients and constituencies. And some of them are open to the public, like anybody can make an appointment. And we're doing this both in person and online or virtually. So an example of kind of a full service site where folks can make an appointment and walk in with their materials, and as long as things are
all of it this morning. I brought some over this morning to
walk out with their completed tax return is Kansas City, Kansas Community College. We are not doing any walk-ins this year, mostly because of COVID and mostly because we want to make sure that we are controlling crowds. So if any of you are familiar with how tax sites normally work at a lot of sites, that it's first come, first serve, and people come and they may wait in a big room and they may wait for 2 or 3 hours to get their taxes done. Not only does that take up a lot of time from our tax payer clients, it also makes that crowd control a lot more uncertain. So appointments only. And we are scheduling these appointments for those sites that are working, that are open to folks coming in from the community. We're using United Way 211 to schedule those appointments, and they've been tremendous partners. So we get the appointment scheduled. We do an intake, and that intake can be a virtual intake or it can be an in-person intake. We do the tax preparation, and then the IRS requires us for every return that we file to have a quality review. That means a second set of eyes on the return, making sure that we do it correctly. And that means, tax law, but also just making sure we spell people's names right, get their social security numbers right. And that's really made a difference. VITA returns have a high 90, like a 95% accuracy rate. And that has improved year over year. So VITA returns are very accurate, and there are millions of returns done across the country through this program. A little bit about safety. So we have a few sites that require volunteers and taxpayers to be vaccinated and to show proof of their vaccine. So an example of that is Don Bosco, because they are a senior center and they partner with Holy Rosary Credit Union over in Columbus Park on the Missouri side. We do require masks of taxpayers and volunteers. We do everything we can to provide for social distancing. We ask for volunteers and taxpayers to stay home if they're sick. And we just want people to know that our site operations are subject to change based on lately, frankly, weather. But also if a site coordinator or a significant number of volunteers falls ill or needs to quarantine, that might change the capacity of a site. So again, about United Way 211. So you can call 816-474-5112 or dial 211 on almost any smartphone, or pardon me, any cell phone or landline. So those community resource navigators, they provide information to taxpayers. They help us screen taxpayers. So we're not taking appointments from folks who don't have all of their documents. And so for the IRS, that means we need a copy of a Social Security card or a document from the Social Security Administration that has your full Social Security number and name on it. For example, that might be an SSA 1099. So if you're getting retirement income or disability income from Social Security, they will schedule appointments for us. If people need to reschedule, they can call United Way 211 back and reschedule. And they're also helping us just field questions and the occasional complaint, because no service is perfect. And so we're very, very thankful to have them. So again, their number is here on this slide, 474-5112 or 211. And then they also have a web presence that, again, for the most part, with just a couple of exceptions, taxpayers aren't scheduling their own appointments. But this website gives folks information about what documents they need and what sites they can access. So when we're thinking about screening a taxpayer at 211, we want to know a few things. We want to know, does the person have all of their documents? And that's the first thing the folks at 211 or any of our sites ask. Because if you don't have critical documents, that means one of two things. We can't file the return at all, or we'll have to do an amendment, or we'll have to play phone tag for days and weeks to catch up with one another. So making sure that people are, really ready and have everything they need is one of the most important things. The second one is who will complete the tax return. So we have volunteers that complete the return, but we also have, the IRS calls it facilitated self-assistance, which means practically nothing. But what that means is self-preparation with the help of a tax coach. So if your income is below $73,000 and you are interested in doing your own return, you have a simple return, or you usually do your return but pay for it, that's a really good option for you. Or folks can get their taxes done with a volunteer. Then the next thing we look at is eligibility. So, is the person eligible for one of our tax sites? If they're doing their own return, are they doing it, through our coalition, or are we referring them to My Free Taxes, which is a program of United Way nationally, which really is free. They use the same software that we use locally. And for folks that make under $73,000, you will do your return on the United Way platform. And for people that make over $73,000, there's another company that they can refer people to. So a company called Credit Karma started doing free taxes a couple of years ago, and they have moved that service over to a company, and a lot of people probably know it, the company that does the Cash app. So no matter what your income is, you can still do your taxes for free through self-preparation. And then finally, we need to understand if people are interested in person or virtual work. So I just got an email yesterday from a colleague in Columbia. A medical social worker has at a cancer institute has a person that's medically compromised and needs to have her return done remotely. So she can't go out. And so we're going to be able to help her with that. So partnering, I know there's a lot of organizations on this call that touch a lot of people in Wyandotte County. So there are still opportunities to volunteer. And that runs, from making reminder calls for folks that are going to be coming in for an appointment all the way through tax preparation. If you're working for a social service organization or a government organization that's giving information to the community, one of the most important things that people need to understand is that people have to be ready with their documents. And if they want to do this remotely, they might need some help scanning and uploading documents. So we have a number of arrangements with organizations that do case management or case coordination that those staff people help folks assemble their documents and then help them scan those documents into our file sharing program, which is an end-to-end encrypted program, much more secure than email, called Box. And if you're a community leader and you just want to see what free tax preparation is about, if you'd like to come to a site, if you are curious about how you might get involved next year, we would love to host a tour at one of our sites in Wyandotte County or anywhere around the metro area. And that is the presentation.
I have some questions in the chat. So somebody did ask about the new safe and welcoming IDs and if they would work as identification. But I believe that Commissioner Bynum had mentioned that those IDs are not available yet, so it probably would not work for this year. Is that correct, Commissioner Bynum?
Thanks. Yeah, I was just saying it doesn't exist yet, so it probably will miss this tax season.
I think the answer is yes, but to be completely truthful, I'm not certain that I know what the protocols for someone obtaining one of those safe and welcoming IDs is. The main reason that we're so stringent about IDs is the IRS's attention to identity theft. So Leslie asked a question about ITINs, individual taxpayer identification numbers, and we can do returns where people have filed for an ITIN in order to pay taxes, and they may be working like a cash business, even people who are working under a social security number that is not their own. They can still report that income, and we encourage people to do that, but they do need to apply for an ITIN. And the organization in Wyandotte County that's doing that year round is El Centro. They're pretty busy right now just with managing the tax season. When someone has an ITIN and they're filing taxes, we still need to verify their identity. And so that might be that might be a passport, it might be a matricula consular, it might be the safe and welcoming ID. But we need to know they are who they say they are, particularly if they're working in circumstances where it's not their own tax ID number. So we're open to that. And our goal is to serve people kind of no matter what their circumstances are. But even, there are some barriers. And Tanya and I were talking about this the other day. A lot of people don't know where their Social Security cards are. They don't, they're buried in a drawer somewhere, or maybe they've never had it as an adult. And that's pretty much non-negotiable for us. There are some exceptions to that, but the person would have to have been served by our coalition and be known by a site in order for us to do a tax return without documentation from the Social Security Administration. However, that could include an application to get a new number. And same with ID. So if people have lost their photo identification, if they include their application to get new photo ID, and we can take that. The Social Security card is not the necessary document, the SSA 1099, which is the kind of annual document that people who are on retirement or Social Security disability, we accept that because it has the full number and the person's full name. And Social Security and the IRS, they're like best friends, and they cross-check their lists every year. A problematic kind of federal income is SSI, because those SSI award letters or update letters don't include the Social Security number, and for good reason, I think. And folks don't get an annual total for what they received. And so for us, we can use change letters, updates, percentage updates, cost of living increase letters for that, but we still need that documented proof of the Social Security or individual taxpayer identification number. And it just is challenging because Social Security is still operating under COVID protocols, so it's hard to get those things. And that's something that community organizations that we need your help with. If people don't have those documents, we need your help to locate them. And if you are a community organization that does housing or does employment, and you all have verified identity and taxpayer identification, we can talk. We can talk about whether or not we can accept your verification. But I'd want to have a conversation, with the individual organization before we do that, before taxpayers start coming to us. Because the one thing that we don't want is for people to think they can get a service and then walk away angry and disappointed when life is so stressful anyway. So
More questions.
So a post, I have to tell you, our social media presence is poop, but I can create something. Tanya has a flyer. I can do a slide, something that approximates a slide that would allow you to share this on your Facebook page. Oh, there goes my brain again. What else was I going to say? Someone asked about the list of documents. The list of documents is long, and I'm going to send. Next door. That's a good idea. So I will send that to Andrea. And what we really have, and if there's any organizations that are interested in talking about this, I would welcome the conversation. What we started doing at PCs for People, which is our largest site on the Missouri side, is that we started making packets that have all the forms that people need to fill out and sign, and also the list of things that they need to have with them, plus the 211 number. And I would be very, very happy with your help to distribute those at community organizations, and so that people could get started on their paperwork, call 211 for an appointment, And like I said, those could be virtual or in person or a hybrid. So if you all are open to that, I would love it. And I'm going to stick my email here in the, actually not my email. I'm going to stick our team email in here. So please do reach out if you want to volunteer or, you know, give us money or whatever.
And I did notice, Andrika, you had your hand up for a moment. Do you still have a question, or did it get
Hi.
answered?
I do, thank you. I sent in a message in there too. I wasn't sure.
Oh, okay.
So we have international students who have Social Security cards that are our work buddies here. Are they able to do taxes with AARP here on our campus?
So two things about that. Just one second. Yes. Oh, no, no, it's okay. I'll come get it. Thank you.
I didn't want to turn it off or not.
Oh, yeah, if you would turn it off, that would be great. That's my mom. So there are two tax sites on the Kansas, Kansas Community College campus. One is the site that's part of our coalition, and that it's run by a professor, Chad Marmon, and that is community volunteers and students. And those folks are certified at advanced, which does not include international returns and doesn't include foreign student returns. AARP, I'm guessing, and I don't know this for sure, I'm guessing that AARP folks are also not certified to do international returns, primarily because of their primary audience. So they're not looking at students. So if you have, but we do have, I wouldn't say a lot, we have some preparers that are certified for things that are not usual. So we have two, yeah, I think two, and two is what we need. We have two people who are certified to do international returns. We need two because one has to do the return and one has to quality review it. And then we have a couple of people certified to do military returns. And the military returns is most important because active duty folks have certain benefits that other people don't have, but they're also allowed to report on like rental property income. And that's out of scope for most of our tax preparers. So Andrika, please reach out, because what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come up with a system for getting that, for getting those materials from the students. And then I'm going to have to assign it specifically to these preparers who are both virtual, and neither of them live right here. One's in St. Louis and one is operating virtually out of Clinton, Missouri. But that's okay because internet. So yeah, so just get a hold of me and let me know.
One more question from Leslie.
Dropped it in the chat, but I'm kind of familiar with this process, and I know that there are other volunteer opportunities other than just preparing taxes. So I wondered, Julie, if you could talk about that and how people can help with this process if they're not interested in getting going through the training, which I can tell you from experience, it's not easy to go through that advanced training.
Wait, what? Not everybody wants to prepare taxes.
Right. I know, shocking.
About that. Yeah, so we have a number of things that people can help with. And, you know, I talked about just making reminder calls to folks because, you know, one of the things that we lose when we do tax preparation by appointment is we lose the volume. And so we did a lot more, our large sites did a lot more returns when people walked in. But it also wasn't a good use of taxpayer time because nobody has time to sit around and wait for 2 or 3 hours, least of all folks with really limited resources. So, but if people don't come to the appointments that we've scheduled for them, then that just leaves a hole. And that is a place that another taxpayer, you know, could have worked. We also really need help with intake and the interview process. And everybody who volunteers has to take some kind of certification. But there is a big difference between the tax law learning that someone has to do who's doing intake versus, preparing a tax return. So everyone needs to take our volunteer standards of conduct training and exam. And it's 10 questions that are mostly common sense, but appalling. So there's questions like, can you put out a tip jar at a VITA site? No, you cannot. And can you, if you're a community partner or just a neighbor, offer to put someone's refund in your own bank account if they don't have a bank account? No, you cannot. And those things are on the certification exam because people have done it, of course. So volunteer standards is, everybody has to do that no matter what their role is. And the intake and interview exam is 15 questions. And it's, just like checking ID, what documents do they need, what kind of things do you have to look for? And we could use help virtually or in person for either of those. We also have a whole group of folks that want to participate virtually, but even have the technology, but are uncomfortable with it or unfamiliar with it. So, helping someone get on a Zoom call, helping someone upload documents if we, for example, don't have an in-person appointment available. We're also really just wanting help to get the word out about this because last year our sites were incredibly challenged and we couldn't serve nearly as many people, and AARP has been decimated by the pandemic. They, on the Missouri side, they're down to about half of their volunteers, less than half, and only a third of their sites. And Kansas is very much like that for the whole state. And so a lot of people just don't know where to go. They don't know who to trust. Especially if they're participating in any kind of virtual process, they're rightfully very nervous about that. And so we want people to have all the information that we can, and we need, community help, and not just folks that represent, organizations, but people who, have neighbors that might need assistance. We need your help to get the word out about this. And if any of you have some of those same doubts about, who we are, or how we vet our volunteers, or is this process safe and secure, then I would love to talk to you because maybe there's things we haven't thought of. But also I just want to make sure that all of our partners and potential partners understand the work that we're putting in to make this safe and secure and accessible for as many people as possible.
Great. Thank you so much. Julie, or the team email is in the chat, and so feel free to follow up if you have any questions. I will also send up a follow-up email to everyone who attended today with any flyers or presentation information that we have to share. So thank you so much, Julie, and thank you, Tanya, for volunteering.
Saving the day. Oh yes, and also for volunteering, for calling me.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so we will move along through our agenda. Is someone from the mayor's office available today? Don't know that anyone is, so.
Hello.
Oh.
Can everybody hear me? I can't hear you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Just not a lot, but I'll bring you up to speed on where we're at. Thank you for everybody that had interest in, or new people that had interest in, on the special committees that we put together. The window has closed for those that wanted to participate. And those are the committees that are being chaired by commissioners, and I'll just run through them real quick. There's the Committee on Neighborhood Needs and Unhoused Residents, and that's being chaired by Commissioner Andrew Davis. There's a Committee on Community Safety and Justice being chaired by Commissioner Christian Ramirez. There's the Committee on Arts and Culture and Equitable Development that's being chaired by Commissioner Angela Markley and Commissioner Bynum. and there's the mayor's special Unified Government Charter Reform and Review, and that's being chaired by Commissioner Tom Burrows. There's the Mayor's Committee on Government Efficiency, and that's being chaired by Commissioner Christian Ramirez. There's the Mayor's Committee on Business and Economic Development. That's being chaired by Commissioner Harold Johnson. And then there's also the Committee on Community Health and Recreation, and that's being chaired by Commissioner Bynum and Commissioner Gail Townsend. We also have two pending committees. One is Environmental and Green Energy, and we're looking at making that just a community task force, as well as, if you know anybody, we put it out yesterday in a press release, but we are going to bring a task force to look at the Quindale ruins, to try and bring all the interested parties, and that includes stakeholders, property owners, historians, anyone that has an interest in the Quindale ruins. The goal is to come up with good recommendations, working with our federal and state and local leadership to try and move the Quindale ruins out of a state of ruin into a hopefully an economic driver of success and sustainability, especially for the Northeast area. We think that that's really something of value, and that's important. So those are pretty much the committees. We did get an overwhelming number of it. Just, I can't tell you how happy we are, but it is a challenge. It's a good problem to have. We have more people interested in these committees than we have room for. So the commissioners will ultimately end up picking who they want to be on these committees as they vet through all the interested community folks. And the goal is I know, just me being on the police department for years, is we've been through a lot of listening tours and community conversations and things like that. My position is, and this isn't an indictment on anybody, because it's good to have conversations and open dialogue. But I want these committees, and these were the marching orders, to be more about results driven. And what I mean by results, they have to have something that we can put into chart ordinance, something that we can do to change how we do business here at the unified government as far as our practices. And then other things from these committees that we're looking at is budgetary considerations for our commission to consider from the recommendations. So hopefully within those three areas, the work of these committees will actually present some things that can get some real results that are going to be of value to Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas. So that's the ultimate goal, is to be results driven. And so we're excited about the potential that we have. It is a partnership of unified government non-elected staff, as you can see, elected officials and the community. And so it's a collaborative effort. And when I ran, that's something I ran on, is collaborations, and we all have a stake in Wyandotte County. And so that was the vision, is to involve everybody that had an interest in a better Wyandotte County to be involved, and give them an outlet to be involved in finding real solutions to the problems that we know impact the lives of real people every day right here in Wyandotte County. I am making my rounds, getting out to a lot of the community groups. If you need me to come to your community group, and I would love to come visit, talk to your community group, answer questions, or if you have a special event that you just need me to come out and support, or if there's something you need me to speak specifically to, please reach out to my executive assistant, Taylor Wash. You can either email at mayorgarner@wykokck.org, or you can call her directly at 913-573-5010. 913-573-5010. I've been to a few community meetings, and it's exciting. And really, I enjoy getting out and answering questions and being involved with any community concerns or initiatives that you have going. And so please don't feel like you're bothering me. I will make time for you as we can get you into the schedule. And you know, don't be disappointed if you don't get something right away, but we will get to you, because there are a lot of individuals and community groups that need me there. But I am committed to getting to every community group in Wyandotte County that wants to have me there to be able to support or answer questions or be a part of some of the good initiatives or programs or either activities that you have going on in the community, especially as the weather gets warmer. So please reach out to me, because I really want to be engaged in a part of some of the good things that I know that a lot of our community folks are working on in the community. Stay tuned. We do have an education Liaison, JD Rio. Some of you know him. He's working with Moses Wyatt Jr., who's a youth liaison, and they're looking at doing some really great things with our youth this coming summer. So stay tuned for that. Judy Ansel is the mayor's liaison for labor and union issues. And I say that because one of the things that we talked about and that I gave marching orders to our new administrator, Cheryl Harrison Lee, is to look at, and if you didn't know, look at how we could provide our UG employees, which are our greatest assets, with at least getting close to a wage that they can live on and survive on. So we've moved in our minimum wage for part-time and full-time moving forward to a $15 threshold. But if you missed the last commission meeting, some of our commissioners were really pleased with that was brought forward, and they want us to take it higher to be able to compete and get good employees in this really competitive job market. So we're looking at anywhere between $18 to $20 an hour minimum wage for unified government staff moving forward. So we're really excited about that because we really need to be competitive. If you look at the UG's website, there are a lot of job openings, and just the way the market is today, it's really hard for not just unified government, but employers across this country to find employees to go to work. And so we have to maintain that level of competitiveness. And so we're excited about how we're positioning ourselves to really get some good folks to come here and serve you better. One of the other things that we're looking at, we're moving into the budget cycle. And I can tell you just from the commitments I made when I did run, and our new administrator is on board with it, as well as our CFO. And they are looking at ways to responsibly lower your mill levy to offset the valuation increases, as well as doing something responsible about the payment in lieu of taxes on your BPU bill to give our residents, at least our residential residents, some relief. So expect that. And that's one of the things I'm pushing for. And I've asked them to give me a budget that I could push to the commission that reflects a pressure point on taxes and fees, as well as some relief on your BPU bills, not just this year, but every year moving forward. So it may not be anything huge this year, but the goal is to gradually get to where within the next 4 years, we can be a lot further along than we've been in the past. And so those are the goals. Those are some of the exciting things that we're working on. There are a few economic development opportunities. My economic development advisor, some of you know him, Levert Murray, he's working with staff on some economic development opportunities east of 635. We're looking at Indian Springs, looking at that development opportunity, trying to really push that along. Looking at downtown, we're exploring bringing the Riddle Center back online so we can have a first-class event center again, as well as some trying to bring back some well-known restaurants that were downtown, bringing them back, as well as some not just affordable housing, but housing that's affordable back downtown as well. So we're excited about some of those opportunities that exist, and so I will open up for any questions you have for me.
I do notice that Ashley has shared quite a bit in the chat, links to different things. And for those of you who have asked in the past, if you want to open something in the chat, you can click on the link and it'll be up on your computer in your browser, or you can save the chat, which are the 3 little dots next to where you can type, and you can save the chat window if you would like to do that. And I noticed that Ashley had her, did you still?
I just wanted to, Mayor, would you like to talk about Mayor Tyrone Tuesdays, which are launching in March?
Yeah, well, before you do that, I'm glad you brought that up. We are going to have a feedback and recommendation session at least once a month, and it starts tonight. Those that come to the lobby and take the time to come to the lobby of the Men's Fossil building here at 701 North 7th Street, on the mayor's agenda that I put forth, Some of the complaints that I've got from the communities is that they had a lot of issues, concerns, and they really didn't know how to bring those issue concerns forward to the mayor and the elected body. And I made a commitment to at least allow for that in a responsible way. So if you have something that you're happy about, please let us know. If there is a concern, a complaint, or something that you're not happy about, please bring that as well. That's how I feel we get better as an elected body, and our staff gets better in their service to you. We've got to know the things that are most important to you. So I ask that you please bring those concerns. You'll have 2 minutes, but then also not just a concern or a problem, but we also like for you to bring a recommendation. So the standard is, if you have a problem or concern or an issue, how would you like to see us fix it? So it's not just a complaint session. It's actually something that you thought about and you put some thought in to say, here's the problem. Here's my recommendation on what I would like to see the unified government do to maybe alleviate the issue that I have either in my neighborhood. And it can be a variety of issues, as long as it is an item of unified government concern. There's some things that we don't have control over. What's going on in Ukraine, that's not a unified government concern. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something that's impactful directly to you and the unified government, and an item that the unified government has a span of control over. So we welcome and encourage you. If you can't get in today, I know the weather is questionable in that regard because of the cold and the snow and the ice that's coming down, but that will be something that will be open every month. So look for it on the agenda at least once a month. And I'll let Ashley talk to Mayor Tyrone Tuesdays, which she's done a good job, her and her staff really helping us facilitate. So Ashley, you can take it from there.
Well, this is a really great opportunity. You get a 5-minute one-on-one conversation with Mayor Garner. You can sign up for your spot virtually, which we will hold virtually until the COVID situation is slightly better. Hopefully we will be able to resume these in person in the near future, but you can follow that link and sign up. They are hosted every 4th Tuesday of the month. And basically, you're given 5 minutes, bring your ideas forward, and you'll have an opportunity to speak with the mayor and his staff about what you think Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas need. So hope you're able to join.
There's a question in the chat as to whether or not there's a plan to share some of the things that the mayor hears on the Mayor Tuesdays with constituents.
Well, what happens is it all ties into the 7 committees. And part of what the plan is on the feedback and recommendation sessions that I'm allowing for is the 7 committees. Those volunteers that want to be a part of those committees close last Friday, but we don't want to leave anybody out that may not be able to have the time to get on a committee because of life, job, whatever the case may be. But we want people to feel like they could still have a voice and influence. So those concerns and issues that are brought forward in this feedback and recommendation session, staff will present those to the 7 committees that those best align with, and those 7 committees will take up those items for consideration. Ultimately, again, the goal is to get it to the full commission for policy considerations, practice changes, our ordinance changes. So that is the ultimate goal. So there is a thought and strategy behind this, other than just you coming, us listening. We want to make sure that whatever concerns you have, they are moved forward in a strategic way that can, again, bring about the results that hopefully you want to see. So that's the thought behind that.
It looks like we have, let's see, a recommendation in the chat, Mayor. But then also someone asked about the Scavuzzo development at the Indian Springs and if that is still moving forward.
They are on a timeline. They have been given additional time by previous administrations, which is fine. We're going to allow that and honor that them to at least try and meet their obligations for that property. But my position is, and what I've moved forward to my economic development advisor, is once that time lapses, as far as their extension, we will be looking in a different direction because there are other developers out there that have an interest. I mean, several. And I think it's been about 15 years that tumbleweeds have been flowing through Indian Springs. One of the commitments that I've made is that I'm not going to sit on these things that are of importance and of value to Wyandotte County. We're not going to kick the can down the road. We're going to support any developers that want to do good things, such as Livable. We want them to be successful, but for whatever reason, from a business standpoint, if they can't, then we've got to move forward and look in a different direction for the developers that are shovel ready to bring the types of goods, services, and hopefully amenities that you all deserve here in Wyandotte County. And so that's the position I have.
Thank you. I'm actually there are more questions in the chat and we can follow up. I'm going to move along because we are getting short on time and we have some other updates, but thank you so much, Mayor, for your time today. I know you're extremely busy and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We will follow up with those questions that are in the chat. I'll make sure to get with the mayor's team and answer those for you. Do we have anyone from the health department today? The sheriff's department. See Sheriff Soptic. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. I'll keep it real short. Just a couple things. Through COVID, we had some spikes on and off COVID numbers in our detention center. We're pretty much down to 0. So that's really, really good. Business as usual there. And then for this group, we did launch a community engagement / hiring recruitment team. And it's just in the infancy phases. So we've got people that are not necessarily assigned there full time, but they are helping out. It does have a coordinator, Emmett Lockridge, for anybody that knows him, retired from KCK PD. He's doing just an amazing job. So that's up and running. If you guys have any use or would like for any of him or anybody else to come talk with you guys, have an event maybe, we would love to come out, do some recruiting. We've got some new recruiting material. We're working on some other stuff. We are still about 33 short on the sworn side, so 33 deputies, still about 20 civilians, hiring for just about every position we have. So any help you guys could give would be greatly appreciated, and we'd love to come out and talk to you guys. I'm available. Anybody from my staff's available. So just let us know. We can get out and see you guys. So I can entertain any questions.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions for Sheriff Soptic?
All right, thanks.
Thank you. The DA's office. Oh, D.
Good morning, everyone. And listen, I promise I'm not going to be as long as others. Yes, you can tell the mayor I'm talking about him. But Sheriff Soptic, usually my competition was your predecessor. And so I see you're not as long as he, so I'll have to move along faster.
That's right.
With that in mind, and please tell Don I said it too. Just a couple things. So the consumer protection complaint, which is a part of the DA's office that many are not aware of, and that is the where individuals in the community, if they're having bad experiences with different businesses, folks, usually around this time you have folks who come in and they knock on your door, they ask to do repairs, or they ask to do your taxes, they ask to do, ultimately they take advantage of a lot of people. And the way that we deal with that is you can file a report with our office. We've done quite a bit in putting that information online. Jonathan Carter has put the link, and he did it a ways up. Jonathan, if you could put that link in there again concerning consumer complaint forms, you can fill out that complaint if there are businesses in Wyandotte County that are taking advantage or refusing to do the services that you paid them to do. Our office, we're able to go after them civilly, as well as make sure that they're not able to do that to anyone else. The second thing I want to push out there, of course, is if you have a desire for the DA's office to come out and have us speak to your group, you can contact Jonathan Carter. His email is right there, and you can contact him. We are available at any given time, both online as well as in person, for us to come out. Lastly, and you will hear more about this, our community liaison board, we will be re-upping here in the coming months for individuals who want to apply to be on the community liaison board, which is a board that meets quarterly with the DA's office, and we talk about all of the many things that we're doing in the office, as well as getting the community's input on what it is that we should be doing. And likewise with our victims liaison board, that information will be forthcoming as well. And so that is all that I have. I will take any questions at this time, but I do believe I did not beat Sheriff Sopcich, but I did beat the mayor.
Have any questions for DA Dupree? Any in the chat? Thank you so much for being here today and for staying within your time. Thank you. And there are links in the chat for Jonathan's email as well as the consumer complaint form. Let's see, the KCK PD. Have anyone from KCK PD? Fire Department.
Hey there, good morning. This is Chief Troutman from the Fire Department. I'll make it real quick since the meeting's long. Three things. The Fire Department is hiring at this time. The Human Resources Department is accepting applications, it looks like through April 6th for EMTs and paramedics. Recently, we've had a lot of open burning. People are trying to burn their leaves and other things. It is still not the season for that. We are issuing summonses for those people caught doing that. So make sure you wait till April when it's safe to do that. The other issue we have is we've had numerous fires down in the Armourdale area, in the area of Shawnee and Argentine Boulevard. These are arson fires. We are looking for information from the residents and the public in that area to assist us in locating the person or persons that are doing this. I recommend contacting the arson hotline at 913-573-5555. You can be anonymous or you can speak with me directly. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Any questions? And would you be able to share with me that hotline number and we can make sure to get it out to the group?
I'll put it in the chat box right now.
Okay, great, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Neighborhood Resource Center. Greg did have to jump off for another meeting, but he just said that the Neighborhood Resource Center will be going back to the Neighborhood and Community Development Standing Committee on March 7th in their efforts to adopt the new building and fire codes. They hope to move that forward soon and bring us closer in line with most of the KC metro area cities and counties. So he just wanted to let everybody know that. Next would be the school district. So is there anyone from USD 500? Okay, Lauren with Turner School District.
Yeah, I just have a couple items. First of all, our district will be looking for some community feedback on how to spend our third round of ESSER funding. This is federal funding that all school districts received to help create programs and resources to overcome some of the complications that we've had with COVID. So those in the Turner neighborhood groups can be looking out for a survey link for that. Also, the last couple of years, we've been building a new Turner Middle School that is currently wrapping up. The building was the the high school for many years until we built the new high school about 20 years ago. And we demolished the main structure of the building, but then kept the auditorium and the gymnasium, renovated those and are connecting them to the new structure. So if anyone would like to drive around 55th and Metropolitan come March, you'll get to see the finished building, and it's beautiful. We're really proud of it. Just a couple positive things happening in our district. Our girls wrestling program is a newer program to the high school in the last couple years. And today we are making history. We have a girl wrestler competing for first place in the state tournament. So even if she loses today, she'll still place second. And that's just a great honor for us in the district. And our bowling team at the high school were the regional champs. They'll be going on to state as well. So good things happening for us in the Turner School District.
Great, thank you. Any questions? We'll just move right along. BPU.
Hello, Andrea. Good morning, everybody. I'll be real brief. Two quick things. If anybody is wanting somebody from BPU to come speak at their neighborhood meetings, more than likely I would be that person, but I can also bring in some other subject matter experts. You can reach out to Andrea or reach out to me directly. You can just reach out to publicaffairs@bpu.com. The other quick thing is the last few winter storms, I got quite a few calls from people who looked at our electric outage map, and they said, I don't see any people out. And I'm seeing a lot more people out over across the state line in Evergy. And that is the fact that we have had a very aggressive tree trimming program. So there were folks in the past that say, oh my God, BPU is butchering those trees and really making them, they're not looking as pretty. And some of those same people have called me back recently and said, our power would have been out had we had those trees like they used to be over the lines. So when you see us trimming trees, we're doing it for a reason, but it does result in a lot less electrical outages. That's all I have. Everyone have a great day, a great weekend, and won't be long. Old man winter will be leaving us, and things will warm up. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So I'm the last one on the agenda. I don't have a lot for livable neighborhoods. I just want to let you know that the Neighborhood Rising Fund grants will be coming out here soon. I know we usually have those coming out in January and February, but there will be a meeting in March at the Neighborhood Resource Center for groups on the KCK side. More information to come. We will get that out to everyone. I'm just waiting for a flyer from CCF. So just to let you know that those are coming out soon. And Monday, we will have our Good Neighbor session. We're actually going to be focusing on the Property Maintenance Division, which was formerly Code Enforcement, has a new problem property team. And so we're going to learn a little bit about that problem property team and what they're going to be focusing on and who makes up the team, and you can come with your questions. So I will be sharing again the registration for the Good Neighbor series. It's the fourth Monday of every month from 6 to 7 p.m. virtually right now. Hopefully we'll be in person soon, but right now it's still virtual. We're usually done within the hour, so it's a really quick, great way to get information on different departments and divisions and partnerships within the city. So if there are no other, we'll open it up for community announcements. I'm sorry. We'll open it up for community announcements. There's some announcements going in the chat, but I see that Andrika has her hand up with an announcement.
Hi, guys. Hey, just wanted to kind of give a little brief update. We are hosting food trucks on our campus. We don't have a deli anymore. The cabinet's working on that. But we wanted to see, I wanted to see if you guys have any suggestions of any food trucks. Local food trucks would be great. We have a survey going out around our campus right now to kind of see what students or faculty and staff would like to have. And we've had some comments already about it'd be great to be able to serve our local groups here on campus or in the KC area. So if you know of anyone, could you either put it in chat or I'll put my email address in there and you can just send that to me. The other thing is we are hosting a Mardi Gras event this Tuesday. And again, everything we do is open to the community and we'd love to have you guys. We're going to have a food truck, Mardi Gras style food there. and you guys are totally welcome to attend. We're gonna have a live band. It'll really be a fun event for everyone. Yep, just, I think those are it. And again, the food trucks are really important. And, or if you know any local businesses who might want to expand their business to have a deli on campus, we're also kind of just getting, some feedback from people in the area. So send us their contact information so we can put them on the list. Thanks.
Great, thank you. And if you could share a flyer about the Mardi Gras event, Andrika, so I can get that out to everybody, that would be great. There's somebody asked about it in the chat. Wonderful. Leslie, I noticed your hand was up.
Yeah, I put the information in the chat, but I just want to remind everybody about the Affordable Connectivity Program. It's a federal program that provides a monthly discount up to $30 a month. We anticipate this program will be funded for a couple of years. And so I just encourage everyone to look into it. There's so many ways to be able to qualify, SNAP, WIC, if your child qualifies for free or reduced cost lunch, or if your entire school or district does, then your household would all automatically qualify as well. So I put the link in there, acpbenefit.org. It would be great if we could get everybody to help spread the word there. It's just money that everyone could have back in their monthly budget. And we hope everybody gets signed up who's qualified.
Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to bring attention, our neighborhood last fall over in West Heights at the West Height Park at Wood and about 21st Street. We put in a disc golf course and it has been so well received. We have a number of teams that are actually coming up from the Johnson County area because they have been just excited, I guess, about how the course is laid out and such. But so if you know any disc golfers, I know it's cold today, but the moment it gets anywhere above 35 degrees, there is a couple of groups of people down there playing disc golf. So we just wanted to call that out for everyone to know that there is a wonderful disc golf course here in our community.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And Maida, I noticed that you shared something about the Winterfest. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I would. Thank you so much, Andrew, for allowing me on your program, and hello to everybody. I'm really excited. We're still working to get information from people in our Northeast corridor about the Northeast Kansas City, Kansas being developed. And we're going to have a gathering at the Beatrice Lee Center on March 10th, and we're going to have a model of the board, proposed trails. We know that it's so diverse that it's not going to be one trail, it's going to be several trails, maybe up to 4 trails that overlap the current trails, and developing new trails, making this place beautiful and attractive for tourists. But we need everyone's input that we possibly can get to find out what you would like to see on that heritage trail. There's so much history that we still haven't gleaned from all of the neighbors. So we would love to have you come out. We're going to have a hot chocolate bar. We're going to have lots of discussions. From Chicago will be here, but please get the word out. We want people to know that it is coming, and we want to know what you want, what you would enjoy to have on that heritage trail. So it's a very, very big project, and we're very excited about it, but we need to get the word out very quickly. So thank you for letting me share a part of that on your program today.
And if there's any like flyers or anything that you'd like us to share with the group, let me know and I'll make sure to send it out in the follow-up email.
I certainly do. Thank you, Andrea.
Else with an update. As usual, this is a jam-packed meeting. A lot of information. I will do a follow-up email with as many links and flyers as I can find in the chat. And to share those, if I miss one, I apologize. I will try my best. But please reach out to me and I'll make sure to share it if I miss anything. Wilba did ask where the disc golf course is. I believe that it's 21st and Wood is about where that's at, Wilba. Okay, I think got all the questions and got all the updates. And so everyone have a wonderful week. Oh,
I actually have an update. Hi, good morning. I'm Nora Brown with Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And an update is that we are offering classes in the downtown site at Wyandotte High School. That is a host site for us. And so we are offering classes in the evening. In March 15th, we have classes starting the 8 weeks. And so we're looking to hopefully offer GED and ESL also in the evenings. If you have any questions, you can always call me at 913-601-9092. And I look forward to seeing some students referrals. If you have any clients or customers that are in need of GED or looking for post-secondary education, please connect with our college. We are very happy and anxious to serve them. Thank you.
great, thank you. Okay, well, if that is all, then you all have a wonderful weekend and stay warm and be safe. And we will see you next month or hopefully Monday at our Good Neighbor series.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.